Hey everybody, this is Rachel. I just wanted to say thank you to two subscribers that subscribed yesterday. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm glad that you liked the content that I've placed out there, and I hope that you'll leave some comments to kind of learn about why you subscribed and what kind of content in future you'd be interested in hearing. So thank you very much to the two of you, whoever you are. For subscribing and thinking that the little things that I had to say were worth coming back to hear again. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the lawsuit in England that Harry had filed and has since lost regarding the Metropolitan Police protection in England. Now, what this is about is basically Harry wants to have the Metropolitan Police serve as his protection services whenever he is in England. And why does this matter? It matters because in England, private security that anybody could hire are not permitted to be armed. There are very, very strict armed laws. I'm trying to be careful in terms of what you say because I know YouTube has guidelines about what you can say. But there's very strict laws as it relates to that. And the Metropolitan Police that are a part of the Royal Protection Service are allowed to be armed. And this is a very specialized, highly trained group within the Metropolitan Police. They are trained to serve as protection agents for members of the royal family, members of parliament, as well as other visiting heads of state on official state visits to England. So this is a very specialized group, and Harry had actually had their protection all of his life until he left the royal family, and that was one of the conditions of him leaving the royal family, is that he no longer had this armed protection when he was to come to England. So that was a huge deal for him and one of the big issues that he had. And initially, he still wanted the protection. And of course, they're like, nope. And then he said, well, I'm willing to pay for it. Now, when he originally said, I'm willing to pay for the protection, and this was about a year or two ago, my personal opinion at that time was, well, why not? If he's willing to pay for it, why shouldn't he be able to get it? Because it's not taking away from anybody. He is paying for the service. So it makes sense, right? But then the Home Office said no. And this is what I actually thought was very interesting and made a lot of sense to me as to why the Home Office said no, you cannot pay for protection, and why a judge has also agreed with this sentiment. Is that basically they didn't want the police force to effectively become, as they've said, quote, guns for hire. That's not what they wanted to be. And part of the argument with that is we don't want to have every rich person, mega rich person, when they come to England for whatever reason. Whether it's they're on vacation, they're there for an award ceremony, whatever it may be, to hire from the Metropolitan Police to have these specialized agents. And think about this. The Royal Protection Service, it is an elite unit within the police force. And it is my understanding that it is not super big because it is elite and it is small as a result of that. And these individuals are already busy protecting their assigned person, whether it is the king, whether it is William or Kate or whomever, or the prime minister, on a normal shift, right? But think about the demand that would create on the Metropolitan Police if every person who's super wealthy, like if Brad Pitt showed up and was like, I'm going to pay for the Metropolitan Police to protect me. Or, something like the BAFTAs, right? Brad Pitt wants it. George Clooney wants it. Jennifer Aniston. All these major, major celebrities saying, well, I'm willing to pay for it. I have the money to pay for it. But you're not having the people available to do it because they're already assigned and working for other principals. And it's going to put a huge strain on the Metropolitan Police. But the other thing that I also felt was very interesting was their big issue is they didn't want it to affect public confidence. that you can effectively buy the police to serve as your personal agent. The police are, as we all know, they're paid for, and this is true pretty much everywhere in the Western world. They're paid for by the taxpayers, and they are designed to protect and serve the public interest. And when you are hiring out for private entities, they are no longer serving the public interest. They are serving a private interest, which can become a concern that perhaps their loyalties may become divided, that there could ultimately become a corruption issue if you're paying them to do your bidding effectively, and would impact public confidence in the police, which you cannot have. You have to have public confidence in the police, and we've seen what happens here in America when public confidence in the police wavers. It's an issue. And so they want to preserve public confidence in the police as much as possible. And, Harry, his issue was, it's like, being hired, to serve as security at a football match. And they were like, no, it's not. It's not the same. It is a public service to the public at a public event, which is different from a private individual buying security. And when I heard, that vein of the argument as to why it's not appropriate, it really made a lot of sense to me that they wouldn't want to hire out the police, this elite force, to anyone that would come through. And also think about it too. If somebody comes through who is a very controversial person, and decides to hire a metropolitan police force, does that become a tacit endorsement of that controversial person's beliefs and policies and regulations? The police force should effectively be apolitical. It should only be in the service of the public to protect them and make communities safe. It shouldn't be about a tacit endorsement of anybody's political beliefs in any way as an outside party coming in to, pay for them. And I understand, of course, they serve and protect the prime minister, certain cabinet ministers, but it's also the same like in the United States. Secret Service, protects the president. And I don't think anybody really believes that a Secret Service agent, by serving in the Secret Service, is an endorsement of that president and their political beliefs. It's their job. They have to protect the president. That's just kind of part of when you go into that field of work, that's what it is. But that's also a member of your country, of, who you are serving and protecting, not some, person from a random country that's not there on an official visit, that's just there to visit and say hello. It's different, and it hits different for me. And so I'm actually kind of glad that Harry lost this. I know that there's another suit which can have a review of this, that is actually him losing the protection, I believe, in the first place, and that's coming up. So it's not a full done deal, but it probably is, because if you've got this ruling on paying for it, losing it in the first place is probably going to go down the same river, because he's not a working royal anymore. He effectively decided to become a private citizen. And a private citizen just doesn't have the same rights as a public figure who is a working royal or a political figure. It's not the same. And Harry just isn't like that anymore. I can understand that this is a hard pill for him to swallow, because he has had that level of protection virtually his whole life, and he's become accustomed to it. But there's a lot of things that he needed to get used to when he made the decision to walk away. And I think, unfortunately, he is just having a really hard time adjusting to certain things that just aren't the same for him anymore. And I can't really blame him for that, because when you've had something your whole life and it's taken away, it is a rude awakening. And that is what is happening here. But it's been several years now. He's been out of the royal family for probably about 3 years at this point, not quite 3 years. So at some point, he's got to give up the ghost and realize that things ain't what they used to be. But he just can't let it go. Initially, when he wanted to leave, he wanted to be half in and half out, as he told the Queen, and the Queen was like, no, you're either in or you're out. And that's part of this protection, is a part of being in or being out. There's no halfway mark here, and he just needs to accept that. And also, too, even his American security that would be permitted to carry arms, as we saw with that car chase, aren't doing that great of a job. So, he needs to reevaluate a lot of different things, including his security. But I do think at some point, just give up the ghost and reevaluate what you're doing and make better choices. So that's kind of my thoughts and feelings on this subject matter. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.